Hey, what's up? This is David Benjamin from Healthy While Free. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a study that was done that showed the different levels of heavy metals that are in very well-known salt brands. Now, we all use salt on a daily basis. I use salt in my cooking when I cook eggs or meat every single day without fail. And then I'll often also add salt to my water as a form of electrolytes, either in a form of an electrolyte powder or just simple sprinkling salt in my water. So we all use salt, and salt is healthy, and don't believe the lie we've been told that salt is unhealthy. Salt is very healthy, it's essential, and it contains an array of minerals that are important for what is known as intracellular hydration. And what that means is we have water outside of our cells and we have water in our cells. And water outside of the cells is called extra, meaning outside, extracellular, and water inside is intra, I-N-T-R-A, meaning inside, intracellular hydration. And what this means is that the water that is outside of the cell needs to get inside of the cell, but the cell has a membrane, a wall, and in order for that wall to open, there needs to be what is known as osmotic pressure, or it's a process of osmosis, and electrolytes, which are minerals, and salt being a part of that, is what literally creates that pressure to open the cell wall to allow water to get into the cell to create intracellular hydration. So it's very important. It's one of the essential things that we need for health in our life is a healthy level of salt and obviously water for hydration. These two go hand in hand. So with that being said, I'm going to read to you some statistics that were just simply found from this study of looking at I think it was like 10 to 15 different salts. So I'll read these statistics to you, and then I'll share with you the results of the findings with specific salt brands so you can avoid those brands. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the two healthiest brands with the lowest levels of heavy metals that are just simply the healthiest, and then the number one brand that's the lowest in heavy metals, but also microplastic free. So wait and watch to the end of this video. So let me share these stats with you. Aluminum was detected in 78% of salt products, so basically 8 out of 10. Arsenic was found in 100, get this, 100% of salt products. Cadmium was found in 70% of salt products. Thankfully, mercury was not found in any salt products, and that's really good because mercury is the most toxic heavy metal, so that's a plus. Unfortunately, lead was found in 96% of salt products, and then some microplastics in salts as well. So really the two most dangerous heavy metals found in salts are arsenic, because it's in 100% of salt that was tested, and lead, which is in 96%, so basically everything. So you can look up the negative health effects of lead and arsenic. Generally speaking, heavy metals are going to affect your brain health and your nervous system, which runs throughout your entire body. It can also affect your immune system. They can get caught sort of or trapped in specific organs in your body, and that's problematic as well. So here's the salts that were tested. Artisan Salt Company, Ancient Ocean, Himalayan salt. That had aluminum, 130 parts per million, 40 parts per billion arsenic, and then a very small amount of cadmium, 0.74. Manisweshitz natural kosher salt, 29.55 parts per million aluminum, arsenic 12. McCormick Fine Himalayan salt, 167 parts per million aluminum, 44 parts per billion arsenic. So not good. Himalayan salt so far is worse than kosher salt. Redmond's Real Ancient Salt. Get this. I've talked about Redmond's Real Ancient Salt before because it does have a nutritional profile that's interesting. It's actually nutritionally better for red blood cells. It's an inland salt in Utah as opposed to a sea-based salt in the ocean. But get this. Himalayan salt is high, but Redmond's Real Salt, 229 parts per million of aluminum. So higher than Himalayan salt. So Himalayan salt is high, but Redmond's Real Salt is even higher in aluminum, and the arsenic was 36 parts per billion. So very similar to Himalayan salt in the aluminum category. San Francisco Salt Company, 251 parts per million aluminum and 39 parts per billion of arsenic. Get this, Celtic Sea Salt that we've all heard Dr. Barbara O'Neill talk about, and people are raving about Celtic Sea Salt. 171 parts per million of aluminum and 82 parts per billion of arsenic. Literally the highest level of arsenic in any salt is Celtic Sea Salt. So Redmond sea salt is really high in aluminum, and Celtic sea salt is really high in arsenic. Continuing on, we have Sean Himalayan salt, 173 parts per million. Aluminum, 42 parts per billion. Arsenic. Spice Lab Himalayan salt, 242 parts per million. Aluminum, 46 parts per billion. Arsenic. Trader Joe's Himalayan salt, 83 parts per million aluminum. So actually quite a bit lower. Trader Joe's, interesting enough, has Himalayan salt that has lower heavy metals. And then 33 parts per billion for your arsenic at Trader Joe's. So still pretty similar with the arsenic. But slightly better, Trader Joe's, kudos to them. Wesley Farms Kosher Himalayan salt, 211 parts per million. So once again, pretty high. And 35 parts per billion of arsenic. And then the reason I didn't say cadmium is because really the only one that's high in cadmium is Redmond's Real Salt. So Redmond's Real Salt is high in aluminum, arsenic, and cadmium. Their Redmond's Real Salt was 7.3 parts per billion of cadmium. Everyone else is like 1. Actually, well, there's 2 and 3, and the 2 I'm going to share with you in cadmium. But their other heavy metals are so low they're undetectable. So that's the key difference there. So with that being said, what's important to understand here is that Himalayan salt is not healthy, Redmond Real Salt is not healthy, and Celtic salt is not healthy. These salts are actually quite high in aluminum and arsenic, and the cadmium levels are actually okay. But the 2 salts I'm going to share with you that are the healthiest salts that I found in terms of the lowest levels of heavy metals are these 2 right here. So I'm going to share with you the first one and then the last one. So the first one is Baja Sea Salt. This is a product that they're distributed out of Georgia. I don't know where the salt actually comes from. It doesn't actually say, which is kind of strange, to be honest. I don't know why. The harvested from the Sea of Cortez, which I actually don't know where that is. So I should have done better research for this video, but it's from the Sea of Cortez. I think that's in Mexico. Yeah, I think that's in Mexico. So yeah, it's a product of Mexico. There we go, right in the package. Just had to look a little further. So Baja salt is from Mexico. Colima salt is also from Mexico. So interestingly enough, the lowest heavy metal salts are from Mexico, which is pretty cool and good to know. Now, this one, Baja salt, had MRL, which means minimum requested or something level. MRL means the minimum reporting level. The minimum reporting level. So Baja salt and Colima salt had the minimum reporting level of aluminum and arsenic. They did have some cadmium in them, but every other salt had cadmium as well. So there's 2 and 3 parts per billion, I believe it is. Parts per billion. So they're both, the levels of aluminum and arsenic are so low in these salts that they literally could not detect them. Like, that's how low they were. So these are the 2 best salts you can possibly get as far as heavy metals. Now, I will say, Colima sea salt is 1.4 parts per billion lower in cadmium than Baja salt. So Baja salt has a little bit more cadmium, and Colima salt has less cadmium. Additionally, Colima salt, sort of their claim to fame is they claim that there is 0, once again, 0 microplastics in their salt. And I will say, out of these 2 salts, they both taste great. The Colima salt is just something special and different. It actually has it's like the saltiest salt I've ever had. And what I love about that is I can use less, and it just is so incredibly flavorful. I cannot say enough about Colima salt. I've tried so many different salts in my life from all over the world, and I have to say Colima salt has this almost like a smoky flavor. It's not smoky, but it's got this rich, earthy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just delicious. I had it on my eggs this morning, and I just opened this today because I was using Baja, and I like Colima the most, so that's the one I'm going to recommend. And also, I like them the most because not only are they healthiest in terms of heavy metals, but additionally, they are the lowest, they're lower than Baja and cadmium. But if you're going to get a salt, get Baja or Colima because they're the healthiest 2 salts you can possibly get. But Colima has the lowest heavy metals and 0 microplastics, so I'd recommend it. And it's kind of a cool story. I recently met someone whose brother lives in Colima, and I started telling her about this salt, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I totally believe it." And that specific region, they're just known for this, and it's some of the best salt in the world. So this company, Ava James Colima Salt, is harvested from La Laguna de Culiacán in Colima, Mexico, the same place the Aztecs traded their salt over 500 years ago. This salt is unique in that it does not come from seawater. Rainwater soaks through the dry lagoon bed, Earth's natural filter, dissolving the essential minerals as it goes. It is then drawn to the surface in the shallow ponds by salarinos, traditional salt farmers, then allowed to evaporate in the hot Mexican sun. This process protects the environment and local wildlife. With your purchase, you're supporting the small salt economy of the salarinos, their families, and their way of salt harvesting. Please enjoy every delightful crystal in this bag. And what's cool about this too is this salt, I will say, it's sort of like flakier. It's like the best salt I've ever had in my life. I don't know if I can really show it on camera here, but it's like literally like little salt rocks. It's like salt drugs, salt crystals. It's honestly just so good. It has the most unique salty flavor I've ever had. So Colima sea salt, it's 100% natural and unrefined. There's no added ingredients. It's completely pure. I'll put the link to their company below. I'll put the link to Baja as well. They're both really good, and they're both going to be much healthier choices, and they're the lowest in heavy metal salt. So get one of these salts. Stop using Himalayan salt. Stop using Redmond Real Salt. Stop using Celtic salt. These are not healthy salts. They're high in heavy metals, and these two are the lowest in heavy metals. So check them out. I'll put them in the description below, and I'll also put the link to this article below so that you can see kind of the breakdown in parts per billion and parts per million, parts per million and parts per billion levels of each individual metal if you want to kind of get more granular, pun intended. That's it for this video. This is David Benjamin from Healthy While Free. Check out those salts below. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. I talk about health, nutrition, hydration, detoxification, herbalism, and all of these different type of topics. So subscribe below if you want to follow for future videos, and check out the links below, the other social media profiles, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.